important reminder. All information and ideas are for informational purposes only and are in no way intended as medical advice or as a substitute for medical counseling. Earthshift Products, Dr. Robert Cassar, all of their partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries will not be held accountable for the use or misuse of the information presented therein. This information is not intended as medical advice. The authors, publishers, and speakers of this work are not medical doctors and do not recommend the use of mineral-deficient foods, drugs, or medicines to achieve beauty and to alleviate health challenges. Because there is always some risk involved, all persons involved with the development and distribution of this information are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences of any kind resulting from the use or misuse of any suggestions or procedures described on our website or Earthshift Live radio talk show or therein.
Now, we can just take, for example, like cacao, because people really find a lot of activity about cacao. Lots of people are talking about cacao. It grows your consciousness. It actually makes you feel like you're in love. Cacao, there's so many things being talked about it. Well, it is true that cacao does make you feel like you're in love. It does give you consciousness. It does change the way you are. Not a little, massively. But then again, what type of cacao are you eating? Are you eating genetically modified CCN 51 cacao? Or are you having maybe pure Arriba Nacional heirloom variety cacao? And I say this only because it's just like the same as I'm going to have a banana, a big stretched out one, or I'm going to have a banana that's an heirloom quality, which is very small, which means that that's the way nature gave it to us, but the scientists stretched it out because, well, economy and capitalism makes it so if it weighs more, well, we can make more. The problem is that genetically modified foods, if you look them up on the computer, you'll see, Google search it, genetically modified foods, GMO/rat sterility, and you'll find out that there's a huge amount of confusion. See, what we do at Earthshift is actually try to slow down the confusion. The confusion is massive. False sugars, well, we've made it so you can take your sugars that you have and switch them over to sugars that would be more in line with a naturalistic lifestyle. And a naturalistic lifestyle wouldn't use false sugars, or false sugars are what I would call synthetic sugars. And synthetic sugars, we all know, we've used all the different brands. They're chemical sugars. And the chemical sugars, you know, really, there is so much on the internet about chemical sugars, monosodium glutamate, plasticizers, all different types of things that are everywhere. So what are you going to do now when it says high fructose corn syrup / mercury poisoning? If you Google that, what are you going to do? Well, 75% of all the foods that you have in the store have high fructose corn syrup in them. So let's say that if you're buying a lot of your foods at the store, then what you're going to do is you're going to find out that a lot of the foods that you bought at the store are not going to be really available at the store, because now you're on a natural lifestyle, which means no synthetics, no genetically modified foods, foods that are in containers that would be, you know, really ideal for the new paradigm, not to throw out a piece of plastic that's made from petroleum that'll last in a garbage dump for 1,000 years. So, you know, we have to really be conscious, and Earthshift is actually, a lot of conscious people have put a lot of their efforts into putting this idea, discipline, philosophy into an easy and economical and efficient way for you to actually jump into this lifestyle, which personally has taken me about 10 years just to realize a lot of the problems and the reactions and simple solutions that we really want all of us to have. And the solutions that we really want to have are, well, we all want to be healthy, wealthy, and happy. And how do we get to that point, of course, is when we're sick and tired and we've, well, been eating junk food for 20 years, or we've had a variety of chemicals, or just maybe we live in the city and every day, even though we eat organic foods and we take care of ourselves as good as we can. Well, are you on a detoxification diet? Are you eating foods that will remineralize your body? Are you, well, drinking at least 8 to 12 glasses of electrolyte mineralized water a day? And if you're not, then most likely you're accumulating like the rest of us. I personally, again, lost 35 to 40 pounds of baggage. Now, let's say you were coming to a doctor, somebody, and you wanted to exchange your, now your healthy lifestyle is not healthy. You know now, because you've heard it from everywhere. All the processed foods, all the foods that you're eating in cans, the shower that you were taking with chlorine, the lipstick you were using with lipstick, the lipstick you were using with lead, the tampons, if you were a woman, you were using that had certain types of detergents, bleaches, and or maybe pesticides or other type of plastics in them, synthetics. Remember, we live in a toxic world, and we can just go into our household and look and see the myriad of chemicals we're swimming in every day. We wake up in the morning and we put on our suit, and we got our suit yesterday from the dry cleaner. And the dry cleaner, remember, uses chemicals, and when we sweat, the chemicals go inside us. Now, we woke up from bed, but we washed our sheets and synthetic laundry detergent and or perfume detergent and so forth, and we went to bed, we sweat, and again, we absorbed chemicals. So it's a lifestyle management program here. In Earthshift, what we've done is we've taken the simplest, really easy steps to be able to make it so you could change. So let's say, like I said, you want to change your lifestyle. You know, it's not that you think you know, but you know your lifestyle is not healthy. So what now are you going to do to change it? You're saying, geez, it's got to be easy because, well, maybe I'm not that smart. I don't have the time to read hundreds of books. If you really wanted to see a change in your overall lifestyle performance, then you would want to see how others have actually already changed, and it'd have to be reasonable, logical, it'd have to be easy, it'd have to be efficient, can't be more steps than what you're doing, it has to be easy, like I said, because no one wants to do anything more, harder, and it has to be economical, which is the number one thing, because if you can't afford it, well, then what are you going to do? I can't afford to change my lifestyle. Well, that's not true. I tell people, part of Earthshift is that we have literally over 100 products that lifestyle transition you overnight. Changing your genetically modified foods, which are everywhere. We don't carry genetically modified foods at Earthshift. We carry heirloom. Heirloom means it's the most natural you could get before it's been manipulated. Some things are minorly hybridized, that means they've been changed minorly, but genetically modified foods is a no-no. We don't sell any of those, actually. Why? Is because there's so much confusion out there about genetically modified foods that what we found out is don't eat it, and let's see what happens to you. I know what happens to you. I know if you change your genetically modified foods and change them over for heirloom foods, that's a massive change. So then I know if you actually change your flesh eating habits right now, and I know it's a little weird right now, well, changing your flesh eating habits, you're changing your dense eating habits over to higher vibrational eating habits. And if you're talking about consciousness, forget about you're talking about holiness, about not killing and such, which is an unsustainable practice we all know. There's only so many animals on the planet, and pretty much we can eat all the animals there is. So let's really look and see. We have a variety now of foods. We have a variety of transitional products that you could take right now and exchange them. This is what I tell people. Let's say you're spending $1,000 a month. What's the average household? Truly, once you join the club, and once you get on these types of foods, you will save about 50% of the value of what you would cost to get going in this new lifestyle. Because you're going to be eating very superior high vibrational foods, and they're not cheap. But then again, they're not expensive, because these foods, what you're eating is, you're eating a massive amount of minerals in these foods, massive. So let's say if you're eating bananas, one of our bananas that we have, it's a heirloom variety banana, sun-dried in Ecuador. Now, these bananas don't have any preservatives on them at all, none. But they'll still last years without any preservatives. And so, what's the difference between this banana that looks like it's been dipped in like black honey? It's got so many minerals on it. The bugs can't eat the minerals, these types. So it's pretty smart. If we eat these foods with a lot of minerals, then the bugs can't eat us either. And so this is a big problem that most people have. They're actually eating and drinking a high acid diet, and it's actually a processed diet. And this processed diet is causing their body to demineralize. And demineralizing means that your body loses all of its essential minerals: calcium, potassium, sodium, magnesium, zinc, boron, and silicon. Remember, this is an elemental game. And the elemental game is very simple. Once you lose these essential minerals, then your body's health dives down. You cannot regenerate. Your body needs fuel, and the fuel that it eats is in the form of minerals. So this is why I say superfoods are way different than regular foods, and I call simple foods regular foods, and you're going to exchange them for superfoods. So let's say, like again, you're spending $1,000 a month for your family. Now, you're still going to buy about 25 to 35% of the foods from different stores, because we don't carry everything. We carry the essential products that are very hard to find. Take it all the way back from where it's processed, package it, store it, and do this whole process that actually is an incredible movement to get you food to your back door. Now, let's say, like I said, you will take $500, half of the money that you would spend. And remember, you're joining the club. The club saves you 35 to 50%, excuse me. You're joining the club. It saves you 35 to 70% off retail every day. Now, you take $500 of your amount of money that you would actually, let's say your daily,
You should take half. Take half of what you would spend a month.
let's say you would spend about $1,000 a month. Let's take half of that and put it towards the things that you will need in the club. And what are you going to need in the club? Well, are you buying your water now? No more. You're going to start making your own water. Are you remineralizing your water? Because you could make it, but now it's dead. Remember, you just cleaned it, you changed its, maybe its purity, but you need to put back the minerals in it to make it so it has substance. You're going to take about 25 to 40%, depending on where level you're at in the transition. And you're going to spend your money differently. Remember, you're not going to add any more money to your new lifestyle. You're going to exchange it around. Now, this is pretty genius how this is set up. What you do is you take 50% of the money and you actually exchange products from our exchange club. You're going to change your oils for these non-genetically modified oils. Coconut oil. I buy a gallon a month for myself. I put it on my skin, I shave with it, I use it for hair coconut, I use it for conditioner in my hair. I use it, okay, so once you get to the club, remember, you're taking half your money. You're taking half your money that you would normally spend in the outside world, and you're bringing it into the club. And remember again, you're saving 35 to 70% off the things you're going to use every day, anytime too.